Hello, everybody. Um, it's time for another Valentine's. We have very few days until then. And so what I have already set up is my A and B are board and measured. I have my cup here. And my intent is to have only half of the small heart filled with clear and only clear. And then this heart, excuse my hiccup, this heart here is going to be that really beautiful cherry red. Although I have been thinking it over, and I might do cherry red and blue. Because, couples are couples. But this isn't necessarily for couples because, you love your children, so hearts represent love. And so I think just the cherry red will do just fine. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my gloves back on, and I'm going to put you on, well, I'm going to put you on pause first, and then we get my gloves back on, and then I'm going to mix the resin, and then when I come back, we're going to pour the half of this and get this filled as much as we can. And it may end up being a dual layer, I don't know, because this is not a whole lot of resin right here. That's only 200 mil together, and I'm not sure what this takes. And so this is like 3, 6.5, almost 7 ounces between the two. Anyway, I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to get that mixed, and I'll be right back. Okay, resin is mixed. I'm going to pour a little bit off into the little heart. I don't want it any more than halfway, if at all possible. I'm going to get this pinched just a little bit for better control. Get my little paper towel ready. And that's as much as it needs. Now the reason why I'm doing that only halfway is because I'm going to make a second part so that you can put a picture in and be able to glue it together. Okay, let's get some red in here. I forgot to shake, so I'm going to shake gently. That's about 11 drops. Got about 20 in now. Oops, and that was a squirt. Oh well, no big deal. Let's get it mixed up and see how cherry red we can get this. I do want it kind of translucent. I really wish my heat mats would hurry up and get here because this one is driving me bonkers. How it got so warped, I don't know. Maybe too much use, who knows. Pour some more of that down in there all the way. Now I do see some bubbles, so I will, of course, go around edges for the bubbles. Now as you can tell, this is a very, 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 very light red at this point. Very translucent. But it's that deep cherry red. And I am going to put some Marabou Rainbow ink in here as well. Just a little. Of course, we all know that when I say a little, it usually ends up a lot because of that ball in here. That ball drives me more bonkers than my mat. Of course, the idea is, I guess you can shake it up and down and make that ball move. And then it just gets restuck. And we're going to add a little bit of this glitter. Okay, everybody, my tummy is growling. It is close to dinner time. I don't want too much of this in here because I am adding some glue to suspend it. Oh, that's going to be pretty. I hope. You never know. Okay, let's get that glue added in. I'm not going to add too much. I do want the suspension, but whoa, this thing's volcanoing. Let's try that again. So, 1, 2 drops. That's all I need. Now take your stick, surface stir first. There comes that heavy feel, that thickness. So how's everybody's 2025 going so far? I don't want to jinx mine. So far, not so bad. I'm getting to put videos out again. Getting kind of anxious for sunshine so that I can start planting this year. Of course, I will be doing some planting on the inside of the house in order for me to have some starts to put out in my greenhouse. All right, let's get this poured in. And as I said, I know this is not going to be enough, but there's always going to be a chance for another layer. Although I don't like doing that. Or this may end up being thick enough on its own. No, because it has to fit into a base, which I have not poured yet, because I wanted to get this done, and I don't have enough room on my mat that happens to be actually not bent and warped. And yes, in case you're hearing all that noise in the background, that's my heater coming on and off. I have to use an electric heater in my room because the heat system that they put into this house, the way that they designed the vents and the registers, it's really lacking. This house was built in the 50s, and I guess I should be happy that they upgraded the heat system here. But it really does not matter if it doesn't get into rooms. It does heat the main house, but not very well. It needs a definite upgrade on the insulation. All right, that's all I can get in because the rest doesn't want to work to come out. All right, I'm going to go ahead, get some bubbles here. My heat mat is on. There's a bubble that rose. I do try my best to pop these bubbles as they rise so I don't forget them later. Bring them out into the middle so it's easier. And I'm going to wipe here. Excuse my frogs. My throat is so bad. Going to get in here real fast. Okay, those bubbles already dissipated. That's nice. And then I'm going to sit for a few minutes and I'm going to watch for bubbles and I'll get them as they come. Now see, this is what I worry about with these things. They're not very squished in there. And every time you go to wipe them, you get that problem. They pull. So I will fix this and I'll be back when it's time to pour some more. Okay, so I've made some changes to things because I don't have a picture to put in here once it's done and the other half is completed. I've decided to put a couple of items in there. Now I could put a sticker in here, but then you wouldn't be able to really see it from both sides. And I've decided this is going to be the face of this. So this is going to be the face of this. And I could use a sticker because of that, but I decided I like having these in here. However, before I get to these, Do you see this beautiful little rose? I am going to include it in here. And it will stick up and out once it's done. I'm going to try to remove it when it's softish so that I can try to adhere it to this. So what I want to do is get this out of the way for a minute without dislodging anything. And I'm going to concentrate on getting the rose done. I've chosen a couple of different colors for the leaves and stem, which are these two greens. This one is sparkly. This one is matte. Well, kind of, sort of, I guess, if you want to say it. Mica is matte. But then I've also chosen this beautiful sparkly blue for the rose itself. Now, I can't find my switching sponge. Kind of normal for me. Can't find this, can't find that, right? But I'm going to go ahead and as soon as I get this one ready to pour, I'm also going to do the base for the picture frame. But for now, I'm going to concentrate on this rose. I'll go ahead and do this on camera, but I'm going to pause you for a moment while I make sure everything is actually been opened and ready to use. Okay, let's get this show on the road. And I'm sorry if it's kind of dark on the camera, and I could bring you down. I think I will. Get that in there real fast. Let's bring you down. Just a little bit closer at least. Sorry, my hands create shadow. There we go. And I'll move this over just a little bit more. And turn it around a little bit more here. Trying to get up on those side areas. Everybody in the house is asleep. It's closing in on 3 a.m. And this video will end up being released a little later than I normally do. But it's going to go up today. I started it yesterday. But I took a little nap in between and had some dinner and all that stuff and sat and watched videos for a little while. Attended a couple of lives. All right. That lovely blue. Oh, it is so gorgeous. And I think I've got all areas. Okay, so I'm just going to use a paper towel to change colors. And this is that one brush that if you'd seen my Temu haul when I was getting all the paint supplies for, oh wow. Guess I'll find another brush. That one just pulled out while it was trying to clean it. Look at that. Just keeps pulling more and more out. Maybe I can do it with what's left here. Okay. Wow. So let's close up the blue. I'm going to grab a cotton swab. or two. And I'm going to go ahead and grab some water. Put some just right here. And clean up the excess where I don't want it to be at. And yes, I only like to use water to do this. Although some types of micas have a horrible way of trying to get cleaned up. And you must end up using alcohol to do it. And those are usually those metallic ones. And I do the cleanup so that I'm not dragging excess around. Just a little bit more. Okay, now we go to the greens. We're going to go to the sparklier one. And we're going to get these underleaves here. I might have to get a darker green to go with this. But I don't think so. Not for my purpose of wanting to do this. I'm just going to bring it down here. I think I got way too much that time. Get that little thorn area. Trying to get it in there thickly for good coverage. Okay. And if you thought I was going to stop there with this, no. Because leaves have veins in them. So you have to get the veins. Oh, I'm losing more hair on this. Okay. Now that I got that all covered, I think so. Maybe a couple areas aren't quite covered yet. Okay. Let's see if I have any of that brush left when I clean it this time. Okay, looks like I might have some left. Let me tap this out. gets all that excess out, so it's not floating around. Okay, now the next step, that little water. We don't want it too soaked this time. And I'm going to come in and try cleaning out some of this area here, just a little. Looks like it's not going to work too well, but I'm still going to give it a shot. It's working out some. Ah, small areas. You must love them. And I probably could have done the other color first and then wiped off the ridges in here for the veins of the leaves. But I have to be a difficult person all the time. Just ask anybody that's ever lived with me. And that goes for my children, both husbands. Okay, that's done. Now I just need to let that dry out just a little bit. And while it's doing that, I'm going to clean up some of this. Close this one up. And it wants to go on crooked. Definitely losing a lot of that hair on that brush. All right, give me a couple more moments and I will return. Okay, let's get the rest of this in, and then we have to tackle the base. And it is now 3:30 in the morning, and boy, these hairs just keep coming right off of there. And of course we want to cover the entire thing just to make sure that we have every little nook and cranny covered. Okay, I'm going to throw this brush away and tap this one out. Okay, let's cover this up and put it away. Now, because we don't want to transfer anything from one to the other, just a very quick cleanup. Grab another brush. Oh, this is a pretty stiff one. Let me see. Okay, yeah, that'll do. Well, now let's get rid of the first mess, napkin, and lay this guy out. Well, for right now purposes, I will just set it right here. First things first, We're going to layer this part with blue, and then the edges are going to be reddish. Might as well put a fair amount in there. Oops, I keep missing. And I will burnish it on as well as I can. If a little bit of the blue goes up onto the side, I'm not going to worry about it on cleanup. And before I pour the rose, I'm putting a clear layer down over this blue. All right, let's see how far we can get all of that. I'll have to turn it in a moment. Get some up on the side here. If you'll notice, I'm not going all the way up. Okay, going to need a little bit more here. Gotta get the corner. And a little bit more should do it. Okay. That's done with. Let me clean up the brush. Still a lot of that blue coming off. I think that's good enough now. Okay. All right, let's tap this out. Make sure it's as covered as it's supposed to be. And I don't think so. There's an area here that doesn't seem to be as covered. So what I'm going to do is try one of these. Wow, that one got dirty. Oh well. Now, if these were curved, that would be awesome. You know, this part. All right, that seemed to have done it. Got a little too much up on the side there. Well, I guess it's going to stay. Okay. Anyway, on to the red. Now, of course, we all know that red turns pink. So I'm going to get the reddest red I have, which is still kind of pinkish. And, of course, it's not open. They need those little pull tabs on these. Okay, well, that part wants to peel off. Okay, now I'm looking at that red and it's really so pink already. So what I want to do is I'm going to try an experiment. And I'm going to grab a little mixing cup. There they are. Okay, get a little mixing cup. I'm going to add some of this red glitter. Not much. Of course, if it works out, that'd be great. And then we're going to put a little bit of the mica in. Oh boy, the static is bad. Make sure I'm not spreading it everywhere. Find the lid. Grab the brush. Kind of mix that all together. The glitter kind of just disappeared. So let's hope that works. I see some of the glitter, but not a great deal of it. Put my fingers in that little space there to hold it. Okay, now we got to tap that out. Oops, missed an edge here a little bit. Missed that corner. That one a little bit. Okay, let's get my mess cleaned up. Okay, that's all done. Now I'm going to set it aside for a moment, get my mess cleaned up, and I'll be right back. Okay, now as you can see, I've added lights to the bottom, which means it's closer to the top when this is finished. And I decided not to do just clear. I have decided to try, now I can't get this spoon into here unless I just use the end, and that's what I'm going to do because I don't need much of the mica. I just need enough to tint it. Now this might, since those are warm lights, produce a green tint, which is okay, if it does. Oh, that's perfect right there. So we'll go ahead and close this up now. My heat mat is already on, so I can help degas the resin. And yes, I'm not wearing gloves right now. Mostly because my hands have swollen a little bit. And no, it's not from the resin. My body bloats a lot. And right now it's in the middle of a bloat. It usually happens when I eat too much processed food, because it contains so much salt all the time. And for somebody with high blood pressure, you're not supposed to have salt, or at least to keep it to a bare minimum. And, well, can't do that when you eat processed foods. All right, we're going to get this poured in here. I'm going to hope that it covers what I need covered. Without going too much above. Okay, the wires are covered. That's what we were heading for, okay? So, what's left over, of course, there's always a spare mold somewhere. Get it stopped dripping for a second so I can scrape the rest of that out. I do need to buy large gloves. I have mediums, and they work pretty well most of the time. And when this base cures up for that part, we will be back for more. And that's when the rose gets poured as well. But for now, it is just the base getting done. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put you on hiatus. Of course, you won't know it because you'll be right back. Okay, we're ready for the next stage, which is to add more resin. I have 100 ml here, but I'm making 80. So we pour in 40. And just in case I have to make more, I'll leave that right there. And this is what we're doing. I'm using that Nasubi black resin, which is a 1-to-1 by volume. So now I just go to the 80. Okay, that did that. And yes, I'm trying to be very, very careful with this while I'm not wearing gloves. I tried an ice bath with them earlier, but that didn't work. So I just have to be very careful. Now this is about a 3 to 5 minute stirring process. So I'll put you on pause while I finish this up. Now I'm pretty sure I don't have enough to finish both off. So I will get the flour first, then I will get the stand, and then if I have to make some more, I'll make some more. But I'll do that off camera. Okay. I'm going to turn this way. Allow it to run down. Pour a little bit more into here. Oh yeah, definitely going to have to make some more. Okay, I'm going to take the stick and coax this down into the stand. I mean, it's getting there, but... Okay, I'm going to see what the level is on that. It could use a little bit more. So let's just do this. Try to get it off of there. Some molds just are not planned out very well. And this is pretty liquidy. I don't know if that's something more that you're looking for when you're doing things. It says bubble free, by the way. However, it's black. I don't know how you know that until after everything is cured. Okay, that should do it. And we'll just get the rest poured in, and maybe we've got enough. I don't know. I doubt it. My hand's probably in the way. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put you on pause. Be back soon. Okay, everyone. It's ready to unmold on these things. I had, it looks like one little bubble escape up two little bubbles escape upwards here. We're going to unmold this one and unmold the other one. And then we're going to get to the last part of this. Holy cow. Not bad. And unfortunately, since my mat is warped, this warped a little bit. Regardless that I had things keeping on here to try to keep it from happening. Okay. Oh, good. You can just only barely see the wire in here. That's nice. I like that idea. Yeah, it did need a little bit more here and here, but it still did plenty well, and a little bit here. Okay, before we even test out to see if that light works through there, I want to press this down and see what I can do about the warp on it. I don't want to leave marks in it. Well, maybe I'll put it aside and do it that way, but if I don't have it on the heat, it won't stay in shape afterwards. Okay, well, anyway, let's just bring the other portion over here. Remove this out of the way. Well, that'll work beautifully there. All right, I'm going to pause you while I find something to set on the top of this, and then we'll get to this real quick. Okay, voila. It's got a little bit of dirt on the top, and where the dirt is coming from like that in my room, I don't really know. But hopefully I won't mar the top of that, and I've got it centered as well as I can. And then next, oh, that's hilarious. I just lost what I did with my UV resin. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, so I only want to tack these two pieces down. So I'm just going to put a little bit to do that. Oops, I got the little bit in the wrong spot on the second drop there. So I'll move the bird into it and then back out. All right, let's let that get cured up. If I can get the light on. There we go. Get my phone out of the way. And when the piece is finished, I'll cure it from the other side as well. Let's give it a test to see if the bird had enough. Yes, okay. All right. You know what? I think I forgot my dog outside. I'll be back in this minute. Hey, babe, I was so anxious to get back to this. Okay. Yep, I forgot him outside. He's so mad at me. Not really. He just looked at me like, Mom, seriously? You would think a husky would want to stay outside in the winter. That looks good enough. And this just keeps the epoxy from making anything float. And I definitely want that because I don't want the rose to move or the bird and heart to move. And I'll probably put the big light on it after this is all done. Okay. So primarily this is just what it's going to look like. It's just going to have more fill. And I have my little measuring cup here. And I've decided that I'm going to try to get about 90. Need to let that settle to see where it's landed. And that looks good. And then get the A portion. Okay. And now I'll pause you while I stir because, you know, that's the boring part. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of rainbow ink in it. I want a little bit of sparkle, not humongous. I may get brave and go ahead and remove that ball in there. There we go. That should do it. Okay. Let's pour this out. We're going to dump some here first. Get over here and do the birds. And I may have to mix a little bit more. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to mix some more, I believe. Bubble coming up from the bird. All right. Scrape out what I can real fast. Then I'll put you on pause. I'll finish mixing. And the next time you see anything, it will be time to unmold this and then set it all up. All right. Back soon. Okay, we're ready. It took a little bit longer for this project than I had hoped. Oh, that's not stuck on resin, that's the spoon. Wow. Okay. So anyway, let's get this unmolded. Now the only problem I would have is if this piece here is just too big to fit into the slot. Oh boy. That is cool. Trying to get it all in for you, and I just don't see where I'm at, so. All right, let's see if it fits. And it does. and the little birds. All right, I don't have any wire, so to speak, at this time. I mean, I do, I have jewelry wire. Let's try that. One moment. Well, this wire is not very sturdy. It is only 0.4 millimeter. But I did take off a length I think would be appropriate. And what I'm going to do is just feed it through here. Well, if I can see to do that. Oh, for goodness sake. There we go. I'm just going to begin a twist. If I can get it to go right. Okay, got the twist there. I'm going to make sure that is twisted really well. And I'm just going to beat it back up one side here. And then push the wire back through the hole so that you're protected from that. Shape it with the heart. Oh boy, okay, that was fun. Okay, I'm gonna get that out of the way, and then I'll bring you down. Oops, I have it set in there wrong. There we go. I'll bring you down and we'll see how this is. All right, that's what it looks like without the light on. And watch your eyes, it's gonna flash for a minute. Oops, take the tab out. There we go. And there it is with the light on and the lights on. All right, let's take a look without lights. That's with a softer light. And then no other lights. It's dark. It's hard to see where I'm at. So if you get down below the shiny at its level, it does shine up onto the heart, but not the way I'd hoped. Okay, let me get some lights back on. But up close, it is really shiny. And that rose sticking out like it does it's not as pronounced as I'd wanted, but it is pronounced. It is completely covered with resin. There is some rise there. And then, of course, the little birds, or the little bird and heart. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below please, and of course share if you care, and if you have not subscribed yet, give that a thought. Alright, love y'all, and let's see if we could get this in. Peace out.